Hello friends, this video is entitled The Evolution of Faith. And no, it's not about the theory of evolution. I can see how you could be confused. The word evolution is not a bad word in and of itself. It simply means any process of formation or growth. It means the development of something. And so I want to talk about evolution in terms of our faith. How your faith can evolve into something powerful that results in answers. Now, some of you have heard of the hyperfaith movement or the prosperity doctrine. Some of you have lived through it like I did. Notable phrases to describe this movement were name it and claim it, blab it and grab it, and others. Due to abuses that occurred, though, some of which was an overemphasis on acquiring money and possessions, some people threw the baby out with the bathwater. Well, I'm here to tell you that I have gone out in the yard and I have retrieved the baby, but not the bathwater. So you're going to hear one central verse to the hyperfaith movement in this video, one which I have rarely heard for many, many years, which is a testament to the fact that some people just don't want to bring up all those memories. I'm going to talk about 3 steps in the evolution of faith. Now, some might call it more of a path or a journey of faith, and that's totally okay. Central to this evolution is the thing that we're praying for, that's represented by this trophy right here, one which I was awarded 51 years ago after my junior year in cross country in high school. Our journey along this, our journey is represented by this trophy right here. Also won by me as a sophomore the year before. For the sake of illustration, let's just say that what we're praying for, represented by this trophy here in the middle, represents breakthrough in our lives. Now, the first step of faith is to set our sights on it, what we want, just kind of like this guy right here, on that breakthrough, and begin to call it into our lives. We might say something like, I know breakthrough is coming. It's coming. We have that phrase in some of our worship songs that we sing in church, right? So we need to say those words a lot during this initial phase. We need to hear ourselves saying it, and the people around us need to hear us saying it as well. But what if 2 months from now, we're still at this phase saying, I know that breakthrough is coming? You can stay here too long, folks. Sometimes we might give ourselves a pass and decide to stay here so that to avoid looking like a fool when that thing doesn't happen because we're so certain. It's kind of like we put a carrot in front of ourselves and we just left it there without moving forward in our faith. But there has to come a point where our faith moves us toward the carrot, to where we take hold of the breakthrough and make it our own. At this phase, we may say something like, the breakthrough is in progress. I have it in my hand. It's mine. In Mark chapter 11, Jesus makes his triumphal entry into Jerusalem as he neared the end of his ministry and life on earth. And the next day, he curses a fig tree because he was hungry and because it didn't have any fruit on it. It makes me wonder if he was kind of a little peeved about it. The next day after that, they're all walking by that same fig tree, and the disciples noticed the fact that it had it had withered at the roots and not survived. And what was the Lord's response? Have faith in God, Jesus answered. Truly, I tell you, if anyone says to this mountain, go throw yourself into the sea, and does not doubt in their heart, but believes that what they say will happen, it will be done for them. Here's the key sentence. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. I love this verse in the Passion Translation. It reads like this. Jesus replied, let the faith of God be in you. Now listen, when God says something is going to happen, he's pretty sure it's going to. He has that much faith in himself. Now, we're not God, but we can have the faith of God in us. It's a childlike faith that just matter-of-factly says, someday I'm going to have this. In Romans 4:17, Paul describes the Lord as the God who brings dead things back to life and who calls into being the things that are not as though they were. That's the kind of faith we need to move towards, my friends. In verse 24, the Passion says this: "This is the reason I urge you to boldly believe for whatever you ask for in prayer. Be convinced that you have received it and it will be yours." In other words, believe that you have it, that it's already come into your hands, past tense, and it will be yours, future tense, before you actually see it with your physical eye. John gives the same principle in 1 John 5, verses 14 and 15, also in the Passion Version. "Since we have this confidence, we can also have great boldness before him. For if we ask anything agreeable to his will, he will hear us. And if we know that he hears us in whatever we ask, we also know that we have obtained, past tense, the requests we ask of him." Now, I realize the will of God has to enter into the equation in that passage, but our example of spiritual breakthrough is the will of God, isn't it? God wants all of us to experience spiritual breakthrough. So it is his will. It's something that we can lay hold of even before we see it with our eyes. But there is a third step to this evolution of faith where we move on from this second phase with our answer in our hands. See, he has the cup in his hands. And then we pause and we turn back and we thank God for providing it. That's the third step. Now, we still have not seen the answer with our naked eye yet, but we understand that God lives outside of time. And so from an eternal perspective, he already has provided it. In Hebrews 11, the writer is talking about the great hall of fame of faith and says in verse 13, all these people were still living by faith when they died. They did not receive the things promised. They only saw them and welcomed them. They put their trophies on their chest. They welcomed them from a distance, but took hold of them now. Now, I pray that you are all alive and kicking when you finally receive your spiritual breakthrough or whatever it is that you're praying for, but that in the meantime, you welcome it from a distance and thank God for providing it. So in conclusion, put all my trophies in the same shot now. The evolution of faith begins with seeing what you want, looking downrange at it, peppering the throne with prayer, and declaring that it is coming. It's on the way. Help is on the way. At some point, you will feel way down deep inside your feeler that you have moved to the answer and taken hold of it for yourself. As far as you're concerned, you already have it. It's already in your hands, but you will only, in actuality, you will receive it soon. But then you will move to a place where you thank God. You look back and you thank God for providing the answer. It's in your hands by faith, even though you still don't see it with your physical eye. I can testify that over the past 2.5 years, I have seen answers in this process time and time again. So I'm saying, may your faith evolve in a good way so that you may pull the blessing of God into your life. God bless you.